Welcome to RCFE Deal Room. I'm Corpus. If you're buying, selling, or investing in residential care facilities for the elderly in California, this channel is designed to help you make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. Over the past several episodes, we talked about when to sell, how buyers evaluate an RCFE, and ways to increase the value of your business before it goes on the market. Today, I want to talk about something I see happen far too often: RCFE owners waiting too long to sell. This isn't about convincing anyone to sell. In fact, many owners shouldn't sell today, but what I've learned is that the best time to start planning for a sale is usually long before you're emotionally or financially forced into one. Unfortunately, many owners wait until they're burned out, until health becomes an issue, until occupancy starts slipping, or until the business begins requiring more than they want to give. By then, they often have fewer options. Today, I want to walk through some of the reasons owners wait too long, the risk that creates, and how planning ahead can put you in a much stronger position when the time is eventually right. Let's get started. Number one, they love the business. For many owners, an RCFE is much more than a business. It's something they've poured years of their lives into. They've cared for residents, supported families, built relationships with employees, earned the trust of referral partners. Many owners feel a tremendous sense of purpose. And that's a wonderful thing, because sometimes that emotional connection makes it difficult to step back and objectively evaluate whether it's time to begin planning for the next chapter. Loving your business doesn't mean you have to own it forever. Sometimes planning early is simply another way of protecting everything you built. Number two, they keep saying, maybe next year. One of the most common phrases I hear is, I'm not ready yet, or maybe next year. And then next year becomes the year after that. Life gets busy, residents need attention, staffing challenges arise, compliance requirements change, the business continues operating, and planning gets pushed further into the future. There's nothing wrong with deciding not to sell, but postponing the conversation year after year without a plan can eventually reduce your options. Planning doesn't obligate you to sell. It simply prepares you if circumstances change. Number three, burnout sneaks up slowly. Burnout rarely happens overnight. It's gradual. The long hours, the staffing challenges, late night phone calls, regulatory responsibilities, unexpected emergencies. Over time, even owners who love what they do can begin feeling exhausted. The challenge is that burnout doesn't only affect you, it can begin affecting the business. Maintenance gets delayed. Systems become less organized, growth slows, energy declines. That's why I encourage owners to recognize burnout early. Planning while you still have energy creates far more flexibility than waiting until you're completely exhausted. Number four, they think the business will always be worth more later. Some owners believe if I wait another year, it'll probably be worth more. Maybe, but maybe not. Business values don't increase automatically with time. Value is influenced by many factors: occupancy, financial performance, staffing, licensing, the condition of the property, the overall market. Sometimes waiting creates additional value. Sometimes it creates additional risk. The important thing is making intentional decisions based on facts, not assumptions. Number five, health or family circumstances change. Life doesn't always follow our plans. Health challenges, a spouse's retirement, family responsibilities, children or grandchildren, unexpected events. Sometimes circumstances change quickly. Owners who have already explored their options generally have more flexibility than owners who are starting from scratch during a stressful time. Planning ahead doesn't mean expecting something bad to happen. It simply means being prepared if life changes. Number six, the business begins depending too much on the owner. One thing I see fairly often is the owner becomes the business. Every important decision goes through them, every family conversation, every employee issue, every referral relationship, every operational question. When buyers see that level of owner dependence, they often perceive additional risk. Building systems, delegating responsibilities, developing leadership. These things don't just improve operations today, they often make the business significantly easier to transition tomorrow. Number seven, they wait until buyers notice the problems. Here's something I wish every owner understood. Buyers notice trends, deferred maintenance, declining occupancy, high staff turnover, disorganized records, owner fatigue. None of these automatically prevent a sale, but they often reduce buyer confidence, and confidence has a direct impact on negotiations. The strongest negotiating position usually comes from selling while the business is healthy, not after challenges have become obvious. Starting the conversation doesn't mean you're selling. This is probably the biggest misconception. Many owners avoid speaking with advisors because they think, if I call someone, I'm starting the selling process. That's simply not true. A good conversation should be educational. You can discuss today's market, buyer demand, potential value, different transaction structures, tax considerations, long-term planning, and then decide now, later, or not at all. Information gives you options. Options give you control. Here's today's deal room tip. Ask yourself this simple question. If I decided I want to sell 2 years from now, what would I start improving today? Write down your answers. That list often becomes your roadmap for increasing the strength and value of your business. If I could leave every RCFE owner with one piece of advice, it would be this. Don't wait until circumstances make the decision for you. The owners who usually have the best outcomes aren't necessarily the ones who sell at the perfect market moment. They're the ones who plan ahead, they improve the business, they understand their options, and when the time finally feels right, they're ready. Preparation creates flexibility, and flexibility creates better decisions. If there's one thing I hope you take away from today's episode, it's this. There's a big difference between planning to sell and being forced to sell. Planning gives you time to strengthen your business, time to organize your financials, time to improve staffing, time to think through your goals, and time to make thoughtful decisions instead of rushed ones. If you're an RCFE owner in California and you've been wondering whether now is the right time to start planning, I'd be happy to have a confidential, no pressure conversation, whether you're thinking about selling next year, 5 years from now, or simply curious about your options. My goal is to help you understand what's possible so you can make the decision that's right for you. Even if you never work with me, I hope these videos help you make better decisions. That's why I created RCFE Deal Room. If you'd like additional educational resources for RCFE buyers, sellers, and investors, visit simplifyseniortransitions.com/RCFE. There you'll find educational videos, tools, and my free RCFE buyers due diligence checklist. If you found today's episode helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you. If you're an RCFE owner, what's the biggest factor that would influence your decision to sell? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I read every comment, and many future episodes are inspired by your questions. Next time, we'll return to the buyer side and answer another common question: what buyers ask during due diligence and how sellers should prepare. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dale Corpus, and I'll see you next time here on RCFE Deal Room.